So today we're going to be watching 90 Day Fiance, and if you don't know, 90 Day Fiance is a hit TV show created by TLC, and it's categorized by me in trash TV. And 90 Day Fiance is a show where they'll take an American person and a person from another country, and then they bring them together. It doesn't really matter where, but usually it's like along the plot point of them getting a green card and coming over to the United States to live a new life. Obviously, this can bring many problems, as many people suspect the people who come to the United States to coming just because of a green card, and there can be a host of things, whether it be one person's in it for the money or whatnot. It does bring up a variety of problems. And today, we're going to be watching episode 2 of season 9, and I'm going to be providing some analysis on what I think is happening and what the primary focus is. If you didn't watch the first episode, it's not that important, but I would recommend you go watch it first.
Shaida's never seen what I drove. She's never seen where I live. I was hoping that, she would be a little like, oh wow, like this is your car? Okay. So far so good.
So far, so good.
Now, instead of bringing her to the home where we're gonna live at, I'm gonna bring her to my childhood.
So to test her, he asks her, "So far so good?" And she's like, "So far so good." And she just seems kind of genuine about it. Her reactions show that she's tired as shit, which I mean, that's really to be expected after someone gets off a flight, you know what I mean? But I don't understand what reaction he wanted from that. Like, so when he said like, "Oh, okay," does that mean that she wanted her to, did he want her to be okay with it, or did he want her to be okay with it but suspicious? Like, I just don't get why he said it like he did. So I don't really get that, but overall, I think it's okay. Like like everything seems fine other than the fact that like he's lying to her. It's like you can only expect to get what you give, right? So it's like when you're lying to someone that blatantly, even though it's a test to see their loyalty, it's like you've got to have a degree of trust within your partner. And if you don't, how is anything going to work, right? Like if you don't trust them fully, how is anything going to work from here on out? Do you have to test her about everything? It's like you have to test whether she knows how to use the toilet, right? Like there's so many things. It's like there's no need to test this girl all the time, right? Like you have to have a degree of trust, and if you don't trust it, then it's like, what do you really like? What have you built? What have you been building for the last years? You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's just like that trust should be something you've built as opposed to the result of some test that you're carrying out.
Hey.
So this is obviously living room, this is where we watch TV at and stuff like that. Pray.
Babe, that's Felix.
Yeah, I gotta get that done.
It looks like it could collapse on us any moment now.
No.
Honestly, I based Shaida here because some of the thing is that like ceilings don't generally look like that even when you've let houses sit for years. Like they don't generally look like that unless there's internal water damage and stuff. But I mean, like, what do I know? But it's like because I have kind of the same ceilings, and I mean we've left on trips for like almost a year at times, and it's like our ceilings surely were not peeling by the end of the video because our roof is fine, right? But I digress, but yeah, she's not entirely wrong. Like it is a sign of leaky roof and stuff like that. But I mean, on the same note, it's like I don't understand why she's so appalled by the house. I mean, it's just like it looks like an average house, sure, but I do get it. It does look like a lower middle class home. Like that's not wrong. But also, I want to point out something, Bilal. When you were setting up that house, you made a fatal mistake. You put the TV in the wrong side. How the fuck is anyone supposed to watch TV, Bilal? The TV is on the opposite side of the couch. The TV should be in front of the couch, so where you can watch TV. But she obviously saw that. You fucked up, Bilal. She saw that the couch was in the wrong spot, or the TV was in the wrong spot, so you fucked up. Nobody's watching TV on that shit, right? Like I don't. I don't know, man. I don't know how he expected to fool her with this, or maybe she is fooled, but I don't know. Because she immediately after she's like, "Well, this isn't real," because it obviously isn't, right? But anyways, let's continue watching.
To a country like United States and having to live like if I'm in the 1900s, you can do better, we can do
When did you
better.
read in the Quran where it says you need to provide a mansion?
I didn't ask for a mansion.
Okay, that's the point I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that need to be fixed, yes, right?
A lot of
However,
things that needs to be
well,
fixed.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed with your attitude right now, too.
You know, I can't press this point enough. The entire reason why she is, I think, upset is that obviously he presents himself as a successful real estate agent. She said he told her that he was a real estate agent. And with any semblance of success, this would indicate that like his home wouldn't look like it's falling apart. I don't think it's so much so that the house is not expensive or sure she does complain about it being small, but it's like, sure, right? That isn't exactly what she signed up for, right?
I'm thinking, what else is he hiding from me?
Shaida actually asking the right questions because it's like, what more is he hiding from me when he's literally hiding his house still, his car still, everything from her still? And I think that is an absolute L, no matter which way you take it, no matter whether he's justified or not, I still think it's an L. You know, because that's just like shitty behavior when you're hiding everything from everyone. It's like no matter how you look at it, it's like you're still being deceptive at the end of the day, and that's not a great thing to do, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think Bilal definitely needs to work on that a bit. Try not to lie to people. And when he was like, I'm just trying to play a joke on her, but it's like this isn't that fun of a joke. Best case scenario, she's okay with it. Then what? How is that a joke? Nobody's laughing, Bilal. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like that's not a joke, Bilal. Yeah, so he's like, well, where in the Quran does it say I need to give you a mansion? And it's like, Bilal, I don't think it's about that, right? So you present yourself as an OCD person who keeps his house clean, or that's what I see. He keeps his stuff clean. He's very meticulous about everything, right? You portray yourself in a certain way, and she likes that, right? Now she comes to a home where it's not like that. The ceiling's falling apart, shit is broken in your house. That's not the same person that you portrayed when you were in her country. You didn't portray like you portrayed someone who you, if this house was yours, aren't, because your house is falling apart and you're okay with it apparently, because why else would it still be like that? Because she's under the conceived notion that you've lived here every day and stuff like that. But it's like, if you truly do live like this, then it's like you aren't as advertised at all. You know what I mean? Like you're not the same person, but obviously it's like you are because you're just lying to her. You know, it's just such a complex web, and it's like, Bilal, you didn't need to make it this complicated, right? And sure, she does have a poor reaction. She's like, yeah, I mean, like, I was expecting a bit more, but that's just because you portrayed yourself as more, so someone would expect more generally, right? And Bilal, I don't think you're putting a fair point on this. You know, Shaida was actually a successful yoga instructor and I guess proclaimed one of the best in the world. I don't know what that really means, but she is obviously a successful yoga instructor there. She folded up shop to come live with you. I feel like she had her own thing going over there and she gave it up for you. She's a business owner as well. I don't think she's in it for the money. She gave up her money source to come live with you. But I'm just gonna, yeah, I think you get it.
Same time, he's lecturing me as if I'm a child. This is not the person I fell in love with. This house does not represent who you are. Nothing about this house says you.
That is exactly what I'm saying. She's not really complaining about the house. She's just like, nothing in this home represents you. What I was explaining earlier, the OCD thing where it's like he always wants everything to be clean, to be this way, that way, right? And it's like that presents as a person with ambition, with goals, with stuff like that. and then to present yourself like this, it's like that doesn't represent you. So obviously she's going to be disappointed with the outcome, right? Like that's not that's not a question at all. I don't think Bilal really thought this through, but hey, you know what? Fuck it. Then Bilal proceeds to act like a baby and takes her discomfort and with the home as more of like a direct insult to him and his family, which is like absolutely crazy. I don't know in what conceivable universe he lives in, where he, I don't know where he has been, because she didn't once say she didn't like the house. She just said it didn't represent him or anything like that. She just wasn't expecting it. That doesn't mean she hates your house. She hates the small house. I mean, that's not it at all. I mean, I don't know exactly know what she was expect or what he was expecting from this, but to play a prank on her, then get insulted when it doesn't go, when she's just like, this isn't what I expected, when to get insulted by that, and then to take personal offense even further from there, to take personal offense to it, it's just like, because it's your family home, it's like, that is just absolutely wild. He is absolutely delusional, or just like, I don't know. There's so much going on, and I don't even have the brain power to comprehend it anymore because I've watched too much TLC.
I'm excited for her to see where I grew up, but after my conversations with David and my parents, all of their doubts and fears are starting to seep into my mind. But I need to tune out all the outside noise because I need to stay confident about myself and that my relationship will work.
So honestly, Jabri gives off the best vibes on this show just because like he's just such a like likable character, you know, because he's so down to earth and he's genuinely like he seems like a nice guy. Like he seems like I would want to hang out with him in real life and he would be pretty cool. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just like, damn, you know, he seems kind of nice. But also it's like he seems like a very positive, open-minded person because he's like, you know, some of the doubts are starting to seep into me, but you know, I got to stay positive and confident about my decision. And it's like, that's exactly the confidence he needs, whether he's doing the right thing or not. I don't know yet because we haven't met Miona, right? But on the same note, it's like that type of confidence is always good. You know, yeah, obviously unless you're doing something wrong, you know, but still, it's just like that is always such a genuine. He seems like such a genuine good person. You know, I hope it works out for him, really.
I love Miona since the moment I laid my eyes on her. So just feel ready. Got the pink on, looking like a fresh space cowboy, flamingo. Got the glasses. I'm ready to go. Damn, got this. Oh, how bad is it? Oh, hope it doesn't completely rip. I've already committed. We're going. Miona, I ripped my pants for you.
I just want to say this man's confidence is godly. The confidence to rip your pants and then still decide, I've committed. I'm going out. Just like this. With ripped pants and all. That confidence is nutty. Bro is an actual menace. Like, the biggest menace to society ever. He really just, he was like, you know what? My pants are ripped. But that's okay. And he just went out anyways. That's like, that's that confidence people wish they had, but they could never pull off. You know what I mean? And honestly, commendable, Jabri.
I feel like if she can't get on the same page with me in terms of our lifestyle philosophies, it could be a big roadblock for us spending the rest of our lives together.
And here's another real ass statement from Jabri because a lot of the times when we think about relationships, we always think about things in more of black and whites. You know what I mean? One person's right, one person's wrong. And in most instances, that sometimes that does work, like Bilal and Shaida and Kobe and Emily. It's like it's obvious who the person in the wrong sometimes is, but on the same note, it's like with this relationship, I feel like it's probably going to be much more of a not issue from one person, but it's probably going to be more of an issue like a how lifestyle issue. It's not an issue of people, it's an issue of how someone wants to live their life in their future. And as he's saying, it's just like if their futures align, then everything will be better. You know what I mean? He sees a future that way, but if not, then there may be no future. You know what I mean? And this is a very real thing that happens. It's like whether your love for someone is true or not, it's like sometimes that what you want, what you desire doesn't line up with that person's, and it's just heartbreaking sometimes, you know. Firsthand, it's crazy, you know. But yeah, Jabri and Jabri's relationship is honestly one has been growing on me in the last two episodes, and really it's one of the ones that I'm most interested in now, actually.
Come here, cowgirl. Come here, princess. On the magic carpet, princess.
Oh, hey, you done knocked off the hat. You done knocked off the hat.
What's up, beautiful?
I missed you so much.
I missed you so
I missed
much.
you so much, girl.
My name is Miona.
Keep in mind, he's doing all this while his pants are absolutely ripped the fuck up. Like, he has the largest hole near his ass is ripped right now. Like, while he's doing all this, right? Bro is an absolute menace. Bro has no limits, but he's one of the nicest people I've ever seen on the show. And honestly, it's kind of nice. And honestly, I think Miona will definitely adjust. You know what I mean? I think it'll work out in the long term. Is probably just like she hasn't been to America, so she doesn't know yet. You know what I mean? The only problem I foresee with them is that they don't have the best communication. Like their communication is not peak at all, right? They have a lot of mishaps with their communication, and whether that be the language barrier or whatnot, I think that that is what they ultimately have to overcome, and they have to be truthful to each other. Not that he's lying or she's lying, it's just that when he did have financial issues, which he still does, he isn't being very upfront with her about it. He's just kind of beating around the bush, and he's not really going for the straight up, we don't have that much money. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It was my wish to visit America since I was a little kid. America is usually always represented as a perfect life and chasing that American dream. So I definitely expect better standard, better way of living. And Jibri promised that we would move to LA. If that doesn't happen, I would want to leave.
You know, I'm actually gonna side with the family here. I don't know what Jabri sees in her. If he doesn't move to LA with her, she'll literally break up with him and leave everything. Like that's it. Like her goal is to literally just get to LA. I think that is such a conceited relationship. I don't think that this relationship has the legs. And even if they do have a decent relationship, right? Say they do have a decent relationship after he moves to LA, I still think that that isn't a good indicator because she values going to LA more than she values the relationship with him, and that's what it comes down to, right? She values that more than the relationship. So I think at the end of the day, even if he does take her to LA, they have a good life there. It's not necessarily because she's happy with him, it's more because she's happy with LA. And she would have done anything to get there. You know, I kind of see where David and the parents are coming in here. And even if it does end up being a happy relationship, I think the emotional part is more on Jabri's side than it is on her side. And you know, if that's how he wants to go about things, sure, but I don't think that's what Jibri thinks is going on. You know what I mean? I don't know if she's ever said any of this stuff to him, but it's like if that were me personally, it's like you're putting an object of going to LA over me. You know what I mean? Even if that was a dream your entire life, it's like you should be willing to have an open experience because honestly, once you get to LA, you'll find out it's kind of bad anyways, you know? There are good parts to LA, I'm not saying that, but like there's a lot of homeless and a lot of LA's not the picturesque city that everyone imagines it would be, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, yeah, I think this is gonna be it. on final analysis of Jabri and Miori's relationship, I don't think it has the legs to last. And if it does, it's only because he brings her to LA or keeps pampering her. I don't think it has legs on its own, though. You know what I mean? Like if they were just to stay in South Dakota, she would just leave him. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't think it's a great relationship. I think Jabri is a great guy that deserves way better than her. But of course, maybe that's just one biased statement, and I haven't really met her yet. We'll see on the next episode. I'm going to be hopefully publishing that next week. But yeah, this has been it for this episode of 90 Day Fiance. And I hope you have a great day. And yeah, I'm out.